Hello, hello, hello. Happy Thursday. Welcome to my yoga cave. I feel like I need to whisper because it's late. Hi, how is everybody? Let's see, we have Cecilia from Peru, Viviana, Jen, Greg, Heidi, Rakesh. Wow. Francisco, she's going to sleep well. Brian, Angela, welcome, my loves. How are you? How are you? So tonight we're going to talk about sleep, rest, and I'm going to do a guided Yoga Nidra. But I want to talk a little bit ahead of time about what Yoga Nidra actually is, because it's such a fascinating thing. So just while everybody is arriving, hi Rakesh, great to see you. Alex, oh wow, good to see you. Angela, Banadevi, mi amor. Hi Francisca, how are you? This is such a what an international gathering. I'm so happy everyone's tuning in from Hawaii to Switzerland to Peru. I feel so privileged. I want to give you guys a really good piece of information tonight, because you probably heard the term Yoga Nidra before. Anybody? I'm like, raise your hand. Write it in the chat. It's a little awkward sometimes just kind of talking to a camera. Yeah, you guys have probably heard the term Yoga Nidra. Maybe not. You might have heard of like yogic sleep or yogic relaxation. Yeah, it's oftentimes offered as a popular course. But we want to understand from the very beginning that Yoga Nidra is not just relaxation. It's not this. It's not like, oh, relax. It's a profound tool that works like hand in hand with a meditation practice. So meditation is done consciously in the waking state. And when we talk about Yoga Nidra, we're actually going to the state of deep sleep. Francis says, I'm sleepy. It's 3 a.m. Perfect time to practice. So we want to have a bit of an understanding of what's happening and what does it mean to be restful. So I'm going to dive into that, and when it comes time for us to do the practice, after I talk about rest and sleep, you'll need to be laying down, obviously in a safe place. So just kind of have yourself ready, maybe on your yoga mat or some cushions, and you'll want to cover your body. So just so you know, because your body temperature will cool down, and it's a very beautiful, conscious entering of a restful state. So let's talk about the fun stuff. Let's talk a bit about the philosophy first, so you can understand what is the purpose here, like what's really going on, and why does this work so well? So I have never been a heavy sleeper in my life, and a number of times I've gone through stressful periods where my sleep rhythm got totally disrupted. I couldn't sleep, and probably everybody who's here has experienced this at some time, and maybe is now, which is the reason why I'm offering this community class, because I'm getting so many people that are having sleep disturbance. So this you can't fall asleep, and so you start to worry about falling asleep, and you toss and you turn, or you wake up in the middle of the morning, and maybe you tried counting sheep or some other technique, but nothing really works. And when this begins to happen in your life, the cycle, so our daily life, it's following cycles. Your sleep cycle gets disrupted. So the next day you feel bad, but now you add an additional worry, which is you start to worry about how can I sleep, because you're worried that you're going to go downhill. Has anyone experienced this particular cycle? You know what I'm talking about, right? You know the problem. And everything. Jen's like, yes. So we want to solve this. We want to get off this problem, and it's all through the society. It's very, very common for high performance people who do a lot of things, which many of us do. And the way that you treat it is not with not having using this practice as a pill. Like when I show you Yoga Nidra, it's not like a medication that you're just going to do it and then continue with your life. You actually use the viewpoint and the ability of Yoga Nidra to create a life that's more restful. So you begin to change your own life because you understand this technology. Karen says, too many times waking up in the middle of the night. Yeah, so we're gonna understand what to do when that happens. And so you're not suffering, because if you wake up, and I've had that where I wake up at like 2 a.m, and then you start to think, oh no, fall back asleep, and you miss the you miss the window. And there you are, and you toss and turn, and then it's 6 a.m. You didn't sleep anymore, and we want to stop this. So the first thing that I wanna talk to you guys about is that this idea that to be healthy you need to sleep 8 hours a night. It's not really true from the yogic perspective, and I know we've heard this like a mantra. You've heard it again and again and again throughout your life. You have to get lots of rest. You have to get lots of rest, lots of rest, lots of rest, and it. How does it make sense? If you're living a life, your food isn't good, your relationships aren't good, your job isn't good, and so many of the things in your life are kind of pulling you down or exhausting, then if your life has, like you work with people who have very toxic personalities and you don't know how to handle that situation, your relationships might be subtly abusive, even friendships. Sorry about that. Something like this. So you have a life that's not in a good way. You're not exercising properly. You're not doing something in these ways. What happens is that starts to create a real residue. And now our rest cycle gets off, our sleep cycle gets off, and how do I explain it? Sorry, it's a complicated thing. I'm trying to make it very concise. So your sleep cycles, as they become disrupted because you're in this toxic thing, first you sleep too much, you have a lot of toxicity in your life, life is not joyous, life is not happy. This, if it happens at any amount, what you will see is all of a sudden you'll feel like you need to constantly sleep, which is just wanting to run away from your life. But if you begin to make the life in a good way, so good exercise, good quality relationships, you like the work that you do, all of this stuff, if you make your life in this way, what you'll find is that, and you give yourself the ability to rest and be restful in your being throughout the day, which is the thing we want you to get really good at, you won't need to be sleeping 8 hours a night. You'll feel rested after 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, everybody kind of has an area, but it's not 8 for healthy, vibrant, vital people. Does that make sense to you guys? So we want to be able to sleep a little less, but not feel exhausted. Like it's not like, oh, I'm not sleeping. They actually become restful in a new way. Yeah. So this, like the waking up in the middle of the night or not falling asleep. The reason why we feel that we have to sleep so much is because we've been told we have to, and we're living our life in a way where we're exhausting our vital force a lot. So we want to kind of begin to take this viewpoint of how much sleep do I have. And I remember coming across, and I was reading a lot about sleep, that the 8 hours thing is new. People used to go to sleep earlier, wake up in the middle of the night, visit with their neighbors, do stuff, and then rest some more. So they would sleep in cycles, which I think is a bit more natural than a full 8 hours. Has anyone ever heard about this? It's an interesting thing to Google. There was a whole culture of going and visiting your neighbors at like midnight. Yes? Making sense? Yeah, I've done that. Jen's like, I've done that. Karen says, makes sense. Creative energy is in the night too. Yeah, and the night is also a really good time for yogis to practice as well. So a lot of our sadhana, we do wake up sometimes at 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning. And if you've done that, what you find if you're also meditating a lot, you won't need as much sleep. So we want to get to what's actually happening and why that is. And when you kind of understand that, the life begins to change. So this word rest, I just want to define rest. Rest, when we rest something, it's not that we're just putting the body down. We're not just like laying it down in the bed. It means to actually, you withdraw or recede consciously from the identities, the worries, the concerns, and you have many different identities. You have your identities that you are in the morning, you have your identities with your spouse, with your work, you have all of these identities, and frankly they're exhausting. Yeah, and then you go to sleep and you dream, and all the identities are also active, just with much more colors and craziness, and the dreaming state plays out. But when you actually rest, which dreaming is not actual rest, when you actually rest, what you will find is that all of the actual resting part is like you switch off the apps that are always running. And this is not something that we have really addressed in our society. I mean, they'll tell you'll hear a comment like, oh, you need to just relax or chill out more, or calm down. But that doesn't really help you, because you got to know the method. You have to understand, well, calm what down? Is it just the body? No, it's all of the I am this, I am that, all of these struggles which are happening and have been happening your whole life, probably in a few past incarnations. So you have all of this activity that you never switch off, because that activity is happening in a certain spectrum of your consciousness. So Jen says, running the apps is a great metaphor. Yeah, I'm trying to think of, like, these are just like ways for you to kind of look at what's happening, because you yourself need to solve it. You owe it to yourself to learn about becoming restful. So for instance, when I get to our actual guided practice today, you're going to lay down and I'm going to do some systematic movement of your attention that helps to kind of switch the apps off. But the truth is that as much as I may do a good job or not guiding you to Yoga Nidra, you have to do it. You have to switch off the apps, and you have to observe the movement of your consciousness through the different waking states. Through the different states. So you have waking state, you have dreaming state, and then you have deep sleep. And there's levels of your consciousness between through all of these. So you've probably heard the term waking state. This is when you're conscious. And for most people, if you're familiar at all with brain patterns, this would be beta. Most of them are in beta. Some are in alpha brainwave states, but the waking state is like this. What am I doing? Solving. You're doing. You're active. Everything's very active. And then you go into the dreaming state. And now some people enter dreaming states while they're awake. They daydream, or they enter a kind of relaxed reverie. Yeah. So this is that you can daydream, and this is a state of the consciousness where things expand and they move, and they're not necessarily following the logic of your waking life. So dreaming or daydreaming. And then below that is this state called deep sleep. And we all know when we've had it, because just when you wake up in the morning and you feel like a fresh, like an absolutely fresh newborn, fresh newborn, new life, and you feel ecstatic to greet the world. And so that deep sleep, it comes from when you enter deep sleep, all of the identities, all the personalities, all the mind stuff, all this chatter, which exists in a certain spectrum, you have withdrawn your consciousness from it, and you've gone to a deep sleep. Now, the thing that Yoga Nidra does is it goes to that place consciously. So you enter the deep sleep, so you remove the activity from all of the different levels of your mind field. All of it's switched off consciously. And it's a very interesting thing. You go to this place where none of that exists. And that can be, to do it consciously is hard for people, because we're so attached to our existence. All the little struggles, all the things that we're doing, we're totally in it. But the truth is, we feel the best when we leave it. And then we come back renewed. And that's deep sleep. This renewal can be done unconsciously, because for most people, their consciousness is heavily tied to all of the identities. That's what they think of as me, as consciousness. So for you to enter Yoga Nidra, the deep sleep consciously, does require a little bit more familiarity with the fact that you're not any of those identities. And that can be scary to confront at first, but remember that you go into deep sleep, hopefully every night if you're lucky, and you feel great when you leave this. It's just, this universe runs in cycles, and for you to feel your actual vibrancy, your creativity, there has to be a point when the chatter and the noise of the really limited viewpoint of what we are, and our individual self is limited. You also have a vast self that's much bigger than this limitation. But which one do we know the most is that one, and that's the one that gets exhausted, the personality that I think I am. So when you rest well, you drop all of that, and you feel fantastic. And then it's fun to put on all of your identities, your masks, go out into the world. And that's what we want. We want, as yogis, as practitioners, we want to have some control here. So now, Does that make sense to you guys? I want to just give a little brief overview. If you are in the upcoming course on vitality, this is heavily explained because we chart out the whole movement of consciousness in the mind. Yeah, it's a super useful thing. But just for now, have that idea. Like, wait a second. There's a deep sleep state that I can, if I want to, enter consciously. Now, here's the fun thing about the practice that we're going to look at tonight. I'm going to take you through this beautiful, very simple practice, and it's something that I encourage everyone to learn to do on their own, because there's different forms, there's different shapes. I'm going to do a pretty classic one. I like the classic forms. They're simple, they're nice, and at a certain point, I'm going to, you'll hear me throughout, I'll be saying, don't fall asleep. Yeah? So it's an interesting thing. As we're going through this, you're relaxing, your consciousness is expanding, we're untangling, we're unwinding some things. I'm going to keep asking you not to fall asleep. Now, many of you will fall asleep. It's still the goal of this, and that's why it's a practice. Tonight you'll feel good, it's a practice, but my goal is to teach you to have control over whether you go into sleep or not, and you can consciously disintegrate all of those things that are playing out. Just consciously recede your attention from it, and it's a beautiful thing. And every person will have a certain tolerance point. As you understand the nature of your mind field, that tolerance point goes up, and then you stop falling asleep. So it's a training. Today, most people will fall asleep the first time you do a Yoga Nidra. My lips are so dry from teaching all day. Okay, so I'll tell you, do not fall asleep. And when you practice this on your own, so if you wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning, you go and you do a Yoga Nidra practice, one of two things will happen. If you do the form correctly, you'll enter into a deep state of rest, solving the need to sleep. Because what do you need? You need restfulness, not necessarily sleep. You need to rest. So you'll enter a deep state of rest, or you'll fall asleep. And so that's why this is such a valuable practice. I mean, it's more valuable if you look at the whole thing and you understand what it means to move through these states of consciousness. But just you wake up in the middle of the night, or you can't fall asleep, you do what we're going to do tonight, and you'll see either one of two things happens. You consciously rest, and all of the chatter and recedes, and you become restful in your being, and you recharge, or you fall asleep. Making sense? So it solves kind of one of these issues. But the thing is, you have to actually do the practice. Yeah? You have to actually do it. It only works if you do it. It's just like all the other things. Karen's like, win-win. So it's a total win-win. So does anybody have any questions about kind of anything that I've touched on? So I'm going to take you through a guided thing. There's a lot to this, and it is something that you should definitely endeavor in this lifetime to learn about Yoga Nidra, just like learning about meditation. But are there any kind of questions? You're like, wait a second, what does this mean? All clear here. Okay, good. Okay, if there are no questions, then let's get ourselves set up to enter a Yoga Nidra state. Now, I'm going to take you through the step-by-step guidance, and then at a certain point, it's up to you if you want to jump into the deep sleep state or if you're going to fall asleep. It's totally up to you. So set yourself up, and you don't need to look at the sphere. You're going to close your eyes while we do this. So you just need to hear my voice. So you can set yourself up so you're laying down. It's good to cover your body, and if you happen to have something to cover your eyes, go ahead and get nice and set up now. Get yourself set up. So if you happen to be listening to this recording and you're not doing the practice, but you're following along, please don't fall asleep at your job or your work or anything, because I'm going to give some kind of commands. So just be aware that this is we're actually entering a state, and that you should follow my voice. So, and be in a safe place physically to fall asleep. Guys, be smart here. All right. So as you are laying down, begin to scan your body. Just become aware, and before you fully start to let go, I want you to notice if there is anywhere that you feel like you need to adjust, anything that's standing out, and go ahead and fix it so that you have the sense that you can fully drop the body. So make any last adjustments. Make sure that your spine is aligned, and it's nice to have something under your head like a thin pillow. Then allow your attention to move to your head and your face, including the top of the head. So let your attention move. Rest the attention. Allow your attention to move to your forehead, to your eyebrows, eyes, cheekbones, nostrils. Allow the attention to be there as you breathe normally. If you feel the need to take a deep breath or exhale to release anything, go ahead. Just keep your attention on the head, forehead, eyebrows, cheeks, cheekbones, and nostrils. And whenever the attention goes elsewhere, just bring it back. Just like you're surveying, just like you're observing, bring your attention to the breath as it's moving in and out of your nostrils. I want you to watch this point. Just noticing the breath as it's moving in and out of the nostrils. And continue surveying your face, seeing the mouth, jaw, chin, forehead, top of the head. Continue surveying the face. Then bring your attention down to the neck, throat, the top of the shoulders. Just allow your attention to rest there. Taking it down the arms, elbows, to your wrist, hands, fingers and fingertips. And then once you arrive with your attention at the tips of the fingers, I want you to feel that you're inhaling from the tips of the fingers up to the shoulders. And then exhaling back down to the fingertips. Repeat this. Inhaling from the tips of the fingers up to the shoulders. And then exhaling back down to the fingertips. Then slowly from the tips of your fingers, begin to move your attention back up the arms, through the wrists, hands, forearm, elbows, upper arm, shoulder, your back and chest. Don't fall asleep. The goal is to remain conscious. With your attention back on your chest, I want you to bring it to the center of the chest, where your heart is. Inhale and exhale into this point. Keeping your attention only on this point. Try to avoid daydreaming, just finding this point right there in the center of the chest. And then become aware of your stomach, your abdomen, the lower belly, your lower back, your hips, thighs, knees, calves, ankles, arches, feet and toes, all the way down to your toe tips. I want you to feel as if your whole body is inhaling and exhaling, all the way down to the fingertips and the toe tips. As you exhale, let go of all tensions, worries, anxieties, identifications, any thoughts that are playing out. Just let it melt away with the exhale consciously. And with the inhale, feel as if you are pulling in new energy. And with that new energy comes a sensation of peace and relaxation. Move through this, exhaling and inhaling several times. And I want you to move your attention from the toes to the feet. And then from the feet to your ankles. From the ankles to the calves, slowly going up the legs to the thighs, hips, lower back, abdomen, until you arrive at your chest. Then concentrate again on the center of the chest where your heart is, heart chakra, anahata. Inhale and exhale into the spot fully with the inhale, feeling that you're just bringing in a peaceful, gentle vitality, and with the exhale, letting go any tension or worry. Feel as though you are inhaling from the tips of the fingers up to the shoulders, and then exhaling again, returning the attention up to the upper part of the body. And then consciously move your attention from the fingers back through the hands to the wrists, lower arms, upper arms, shoulders, neck, all the way up to the throat, chin, jaw, mouth, and nostrils. All of it, bringing the attention all the way back up. And then take it to your cheekbones, eyes, eyebrows, forehead, and the very top of your head. Become aware of the slow, smooth, serene flow of your breath. Just notice how you feel in this moment after going through the relaxation portion. Let yourself be in that deep, calm place without any jerkiness of the breath or the body. So relaxation is a skill, and you've just done your practice with it. Enjoy this state. And so next, for your Yoga Nidra, we're going to begin going through something known as a 61-point exercise. Try not to fall asleep. I'm going to remind you throughout not to fall asleep, that we're entering rest consciously. After the 61 points, we go into spinal breath. And then I'll invite you to jump off. Now, I know that you guys love me, but I'm going to end the call before you're done with your practice so that you can stay in that state of rest if more is needed and bring yourself out naturally. So I love you guys, and write to me if anything. And if you like this this practice, there's a lot more you can learn. All right, so from your relaxed state, enjoy that. This is something you can enter throughout the day. Already you're feeling better. Now I want you to bring your attention to the forehead. Rest the presence of your attention on your forehead, just on your forehead. And then rest your attention on your throat. Rest your attention on your throat. Bring the presence of your attention to your throat. Just bring it to the throat. Next, bring it to your right shoulder. Release anything in the right shoulder. Bring your presence to your right shoulder. Right shoulder. And move it to your right elbow. Don't fall asleep. Move it to your right wrist. the presence of your attention on your right wrist. Bring your attention to the tip of your right thumb. Bring your attention to the tip of your right index finger. Bring your attention to the tip of your right middle finger. Keep your attention just there. Bring your attention to your right shoulder. Bring your attention back to your right middle finger. Bring your attention to the tip of your right ring finger, just there. Bring your attention to the tip of your right pinky finger. Bring your attention to your right wrist, to your right elbow, to your right shoulder, and then returning back to the throat. Here at the throat, imagine that there is a moon, a half full moon resting in the throat. And bringing your attention to your left shoulder. And just there, don't fall asleep, don't become bored, just bring the attention to the left shoulder. And then to your left elbow. Down to your left wrist. Just bring the presence of your attention to the left wrist. And bring your attention to your left tip of the thumb. Just the tip of the left thumb. Bring your attention there. Don't fall asleep. Bring your attention to your left index finger, your first finger, right there on the tip. Bring your attention there. And bring your attention to your left middle finger, right at the tip. And then bring your attention to your left shoulder. And return. Left middle finger. Bring your attention to the tip of your ring finger. Just there, just this one place. And bring your attention to your left pinky finger. And bring your attention to your left wrist, and then to the left elbow, to your lovely left shoulder, the presence of your attention. And then return back to the throat and visualize that there is a moon, a half full moon on Visuddhi chakra in the throat. Allow yourself to have a few cycles of breath, feeling that as you inhale and you exhale, there's a thin thread running up and down the spine of a pure, clear, white light. And you can feel this a little bit when you breathe, when you inhale and you exhale. And then bring your attention from the throat down to the space between your breasts, the Anahata chakra, the heart. And then take it to the right side of your chest. Then bring your attention to the center of your chest. And then move your attention to the left side of your chest. And return back to the center. And then allow your attention to move down the physical body to the navel and the lower abdomen, just resting your awareness, your attention on this spot. Then bring your attention to your right hip, to your right knee, all the way down the leg to the right ankle. Don't fall asleep. And bring your attention to the arch of your right foot. And bring your attention to the tip of your right big toe. Bring your attention to the tip of your right second toe. Don't fall asleep. Just bring your attention to the right third toe. And bring your attention to the right fourth toe. And then bring the presence of your awareness to your right little toe. Bring a pleasantness as you rest your attention to the ankle, moving up the leg to the knee, resting your attention on the right hip with a pleasantness. And come all the way up, moving through the abdomen to the heart, to the throat, all the way up to the area in between your eyebrows and the forehead. And bring your attention back down to the throat, to the heart, to your belly, resting the attention on your left hip socket. Bring your attention there, just feeling that left hip, feeling the presence of your attention. And bring your attention to your left knee. Bring the attention to your left ankle. Don't fall asleep. Bring your attention to your left big toe tip. Bring the attention to your left second toe tip. Bring the attention to your left third toe tip. Bring the attention to the left fourth toe tip. And bring that bliss of your attention to the tip of your pinky toe on the left foot. Just this one place. And bring your attention to your left ankle, to your left knee, to your left hip, to your abdomen, coming up the body, into the heart, into the throat, all the way up to the area between your eyebrows, and then bring it to the top of the head. So at this point, I want you to feel that you can bring your attention to the area around you, around your body. And you get this sensation that with the inhale, some sort of pure, clear energy was coming in through your very open fingertips and your very open toe tips. And that this inhale and the exhale, incoming and outflowing, that you could feel this moving through your spine as you move into a spinal breath. You just want to extend the awareness of your inhale and your exhale to the room around you, feeling that this pure, clarity is coming in from the top of your head, going down the spine, all the way down into your legs and your hands. And then with the exhale, it feels like something was washing through the body, moving up from the feet and the hands, just wiping everything clear as you allow your energy channels to rest. Just continue this breath on your own, not falling asleep, watching the breath, becoming more and more attuned to your own subtle energy. For those who are a bit more advanced, you can imagine that the breath is flowing in a thin, milky white stream from the top to the bottom. You just see this clearly. With the inner eye, of course, our eyes are closed. And this stream is actually there. It's in the subtle body. But for now, imagine it, or you might experience it directly, allowing your inhale to move that stream of energy up and the exhale down. And then you can reverse this because it can move with the inhale and the exhale either direction. Please don't fall asleep. Next, we are going to move our attention through your energy centers, the chakras. So I want you to bring the attention in between the eyebrows. Just bring it to this space. And you're going to keep it there for the next couple of breaths. Still cycling the breath, still feeling that you have this clear, this stream of energy moving through the body. Rest your attention between the eyebrows. Just allow it to be there. No strain, no tension, just resting your attention between the eyebrows. Next, bring your attention down to the throat center, the Suddhi chakra, and visualize the half full moon resting on your throat chakra. Keep that there, hold that. As you allow your breath to cycle in and out. It's a gentle breath, not an active breath. Just keep seeing that moon, and keeping your attention right there on your throat. Now I want you to bring the attention to the area in the center of your chest, the heart center. Don't fall asleep. Once you arrive here, allow your awareness to empty completely of any images, impressions, thoughts, sensations, or other experiences. Feel an emptying with your attention resting in the heart. Allow your awareness to empty completely. Any images, impressions, thoughts, sensations, memories, any experiences. Just go deep into this still, silent place. Letting yourself jump into that depth. As you rest here at the diving off point of the heart, keep allowing your awareness to empty completely of any images, impressions, thoughts, sensations, or other experiences. If they start to come back, just go to the heart and empty this again. Try to hold this still, silent place consciously without falling asleep. Empty your awareness completely. Allowing your awareness to empty completely of any images, impressions, thoughts, sensations. Becoming more empty. Empty your awareness. All identities, sensations, impressions. Very well done. Very well done, my loves. So now, allow yourself to return to consciousness, to waking consciousness. And watch how you come back, depending on how far you went in your practice. Watch how you come back into waking consciousness. Some of you may be asleep right now and not hear me. It works either way. But if you can, come back. If you were able to stay awake and you're still with me. So this is a classic form that we went through. There's shorter versions and longer versions. And of course, if you understand the jumping off part, it becomes easier and easier, and you find that you can enter this deep sleep very quickly, and thus resting for 10, 15 minutes in the middle of a busy day. So I want to say thank you from tuning in from all over the world. I'm talking nice and soft because I don't want to wake you guys up too much, because it is nighttime for most of the people in this call. I'm so happy I could guide you on this, and hopefully you'll continue to practice this technique. Everybody that was here tonight, I'll send you a recording of this so you can do it again. But it's best that you learn kind of on your own to go through all the forms. Janice, this is what I do as my lifesaver, because I do a lot of active stuff that takes a lot of presence and energy, and I just do this Yoga Nidra practice. I lay down. Erin says it's like a vampire. One second. Yeah, so you just lay down, rest, and 1 second. Francisca says, I'm deeply relaxed. Jen says, I feel refreshed. So guys, you don't have to do it for long, but how do you use this practice? You can learn to enter that state very quickly. We did a longer form, but you can enter this state of switching off the identities, and then you come back and you feel amazing. Look at how good you feel. You're deeply relaxed now. For those of you who wake up in the middle of the night and can't sleep, just do this practice. You'll either feel deeply refreshed and maybe you decide to start your day and go and practice or do some writing or journaling, or you go back to sleep. It's like a magic thing. You just have to have the discipline to actually do it, to actually follow the forms, actually follow it. So we just had a puppy dropped off. He'll come and say hi. Here's Tic Tac. He just got dropped off. Yeah, buddy. That's why we have all the barks going on. Yeah, he stays with us half the week. So does this make sense, guys? You see? Yeah, it's Tic Tac, our beautiful Tic Tac. So this is one of the technologies that we go much more into depth in the fall course. So if this is interesting to you, there's a lot that you can read. If you're interested and you don't have time to take a course, write to me and I'll send you some reading material so you can learn how to apply this. This will save your life. It saves my life. I just go like this, do my little vampire pose, go in, like leave this plane, and I come back and I'm full of energy and I'm ready to get after it, and I just feel spunky and clear, and it's like the charge comes off of all the things that are playing out. So it's a really profound practice, and notice that it's the form is very simple. There's a lot of complexity going on behind it and a reason why things are instructed in a certain way, and it's nice to know that, but it works regardless of whether you know that or not. Angela says, it distracted me from a sciatica pain that has been with me for weeks. Thanks for the lovely tool for relaxation. I'd love a copy. Yeah, I'm going to send it to everybody. So what happened also with your sciatica pain, Angela, is that you actually got in communication with the body in a very specific way. The way that we're moving the attention isn't just a random meditation. It actually helps the body to heal without really doing anything. Just this resting the presence. And there's more commands here. Like we could say resting the presence with like it's a bubble of pleasantness. So there's a whole way that we actually bring the presence through the joints and through the body, and that'll help many problems that we have in the physical body can be solved just by understanding this point system and the communication between the different things, because sciatica is coming from one of three different things or a combination of those, and it released for a little bit. There's a lot you can do with this, guys, and I'm so enthusiastic about the higher yogas because they're so fast, but they require a bit of talking. We have to understand the language, understand the concepts, but what I love about them is when you understand it, then it becomes yours. It's yours. Now you have this. You can go, you can lay down in the middle of your day, go lay down, do the whole visualization yourself, release everything, enter that state, and you'll come back and you'll be like, how does she have, who needs coffee? Yeah, you're not needing to stimulate because you have your natural, pure, irregular energy. Does this make sense to you guys? It's so beneficial. Yeah, okay, good. Excellent. So when I email you the copy, I'll put a link to a yogi who I love, who talks a lot about Yoga Nidra. It's a very dense page, so I do recommend you read it. Thank you so much, Jen. Thank you, Andrea, Amy, Alexander, Angela, Adora, Bonadevi, Brian, Font. I miss you in classes bright and early tomorrow, 8 a.m. on a Friday. Cecilia, Erica, Francisca, Greg, Heidi, Ingrid, Jen, Jess, Jessica, Josie Ann, that's pretty, I love that name. Karen, Leslie, Emmanuel, Maya, Nasha, my love, I have your stuff, it's coming. Natalie, Nikki, Rakesh, Ronelle, I feel like I just talked to you. Saya, Viviana, I love you guys. I hope that this really put you in a great state. I mean, I know it did. And I'll see some of you guys throughout the weekend. Write to me if anything. And if you want more information about this stuff, definitely join one of the programs or read, study on your own. There's a lot out there. I love you guys. Feel good. This is your tool. This is yours. Share it with the world. Thank you. Have a great night. Thank you. Love you.